This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
The After Party live on a Waterfall Wednesday, and I have to tell you that we just had a 20-minute math debate on the Mark Thompson show after teacher Lori taught us the difference between 50% increases and 100% increases, a topic which we will revisit tomorrow on the Mark Thompson show, but actually pretty funny that we had to have the conversation. Clearly, we all need to go back to remedial math. Okay, so good stories today. And I don't know if anybody is a matcha fan, but my daughter loves matcha. As a matter of fact, we have this whole setup on our kitchen counter with the little whisk, the little bamboo whisk you see there in the corner, and the little scooper, and then there's a little scraper. There's all these traditional Japanese ways to make matcha. Totally into matcha, loves it, has gone to Japan downtown in San Francisco to get authentic matcha, the real good kind. Yeah. Well, that's great and everything. And it's supposed to be, we thought, healthy, a healthier drink. So I was supportive, and, it's not cheap, but as a treat here and there, of course, everything in moderation. If you really love it, then go ahead and have your matcha. Well, apparently there's a link, though, between matcha and iron deficiency. So if this was your drink of choice, and say you drank it every day, 2-3 times a day, maybe more, always had a matcha in your hand, there is some type of problem whereby if you drink a lot of matcha, it affects your ability to absorb iron. There are, according to Sky News, a lot of social media pictures of people that are posting the photos of themselves on a hospital gurney after drinking too much matcha. There's a nurse from Maryland that apparently had a TikTok video that was viral after claiming 2 matcha lattes a week left her with such low iron levels that she was hospitalized with exhaustion. Now, some experts say that people like that likely had lower than usual iron levels before they started drinking matcha, and that then the matcha situation didn't help. The matcha powder is made from very finely ground green tea leaves grown in a specific area of Japan. They're very high in antioxidants, right? But they also contain polyphenols, or super antioxidants called catechins, 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 and that is what affects our absorption of iron. So even though they have these beneficial anti-inflammatory properties, the catechins bind to some types of iron when it passes through our digestive tract, and that means less iron is absorbed into the blood. And the low iron levels then cut the number of healthy red blood cells, which we need to carry oxygen around our body. So the antioxidant properties of matcha is one of the reasons why people get behind it and love it. But those are the compounds, according to experts, that bind to non-hemi-iron, which is the type found in plant foods, and that makes it harder for our bodies to absorb. So that means that people don't get the iron they think they're getting from vegetables and brown bread, and that leads to less iron overall, and it can result in symptoms of iron deficiency anemia, like being really tired and breathing weird and heart palpitations and paler than usual skin. You look a little pasty, headaches, dizziness, etc. And because matcha interacts specifically with iron in plant-based foods, vegans and vegetarians are most at risk of it causing a deficiency, according to doctors. So if you already have low iron, they say drink this type of stuff, this matcha, with caution. If you're pregnant or perhaps menstruating or uh, you already have an iron deficiency or you're anemic, probably no matcha for you, or use caution with matcha. If you can get your iron from things like meat or fish, probably not a huge problem for you. But if you don't, then that could be a problem for you. Yeah. And the doctors say is with any trend, moderation is the key. If you space out your matcha intake between meals or iron supplements, that'll mean the effects will have waned by the time they're consumed. And if you do love the matcha, then maybe vitamin C can help with absorption, according to experts as well. But as with anything, you ask your doctor and do a test for iron in your blood and make sure you're okay, and you'll be all right. The doctors did say it is advisable to avoid drinking matcha alongside iron-rich meals or supplements and increasing iron absorption by pairing plant-based iron with vitamin C, such as a squeeze of a lemon on a salad. And they say if you are in doubt, again, consult your general practitioner. So, just a little word about iron there. Speaking of health, we talk about bacteria. Ooh, whatever that is, I don't want it. It looks kind of creepy with those tendrils and spirals and yikes. Yeah, we don't want that. It's a nightmare bacteria, and the cases of it are rising in the United States. And apparently, there are a lot of us that are carrying it around unrecognized, this drug resistant bacteria, and that could lead to it spreading even farther and wider. The infection rates from drug resistant bacteria like this rose by 70% in the United States, according to a new report. And the increase is apparently driven by a difficult to treat gene called NDM. Researchers from the American Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say only 2 antibiotics work to treat this. These drugs are expensive and they have to be administered by IV. Used to be bacteria with this gene was considered exotic. A very small number of patients had it who perhaps received medical care overseas. And while the numbers are still small, the rate of US cases jumped more than 5-fold in recent years, that according to researchers. So the rise of NDMs in the United States becomes a pretty big danger, according to infectious disease experts. They looked at data from 29 states and counted 4,341 cases of carbapenem resistant bacterial infections from those states in 2023. 1,831 of them were of the NDM variety. The cases are jumping. They call it a nightmare bacteria resistant to antibiotics. The carbapenems are a class of antibiotics considered a last resort for a treatment of serious infections. And it's likely, they say, that many people are unrecognized carriers of the drug-resistant bacteria, and that could lead to a wider community spread. They think, or they fear, that infections that have been considered routine and easy to treat, like maybe urinary tract infections that are kind of common, could be harder to treat in people that carry this bacteria. The antimicrobial resistance happens when germs such as bacteria and fungi gain the power to fight off the drugs designed to kill them. It's because of misuse of antibiotics, people that don't finish their prescriptions, so they didn't get the germs stamped out and the germs became stronger. Yeah. Other researchers say this might be due to the pandemic and COVID, because there was a huge surge in antibiotic use during the pandemic. So that could be reflected in the drug resistance now. And this is only a partial picture of what's going on. CDC says many states aren't fully testing or fully reporting these cases. So, in states that do, cases tend to be among hospital patients sick enough to warrant special testing. But they don't have data from some of our most populous states, and that includes California and Florida, New York, Texas. So, the absolute number of US infections is definitely underestimated. So those squirrely looking bacteria, they're out there. Well, from the creepy to the really good, if you know someone that has Huntington's disease, this is a breakthrough. There's new gene therapy that slows the progression of Huntington's disease by 75%. And doctors say this is likely to be the first licensed treatment to slow Huntington's and that it changes everything. So that's really pretty cool. It is AMT 130. That's what it's called. And it's delivered by brain surgery, and a single dose lasts your whole life. And this result changes everything. According to the principal investigator, his name is Professor Ed Wild. One of the patients that took part in the trials said the results of this were astonishing, and he's lost for words. So Huntington's disease is a neurodegenerative disease. It gets worse over time. There's no cure for it. It affects the ability to think, to move, and more. Usually, you have it for about 20 years, and then once you start losing function, things go downhill. So they did a trial, and they gave 12 patients the highest dose of AMT 130, and researchers reported they experienced 75% less disease progression after 36 months compared to a group of people with Huntington's who were not given this treatment. The AMT 130 works by permanently introducing a new functional DNA into a person's cells. And the researchers here say on the basis of these results, it seems very likely this AMT 130 will be the first licensed treatment to slow Huntington's disease. The patients in the trial are stable over time in a way they're not used to seeing with Huntington's. One of the patients involved, had to retire because of medical reasons and has now been able to return to work. They're calling the findings breathtaking. The 75% slowing of symptoms, absolutely breathtaking. Could be, they say, years or decades of top quality life or even complete disease freedom if they end up treating Huntington's early enough. So, they said there are undoubtedly patients in this trial who would have been in wheelchairs by now who are still able to walk and are independent, which leads me to this whole, we have half the patients that we gave the AMT 132 and we have half the patients that we didn't to see what happened. What a bummer if you ended up in the part of the trial that didn't get anything. And is that humane? Yeah. Doctors are saying if we can bring this therapy to as many patients as possible, the impact on families struggling with this condition for themselves and their children will be huge. Huge. AMT 130, according to researchers, has the potential to preserve daily function, keep people in work longer, and meaningfully slow the progression of Huntington's disease. They say if you hit someone at stage 0 of Huntington's, or stage 1, where they have relatively hardly any or few symptoms, this could be huge. And that one day we may be able to prevent the symptoms occurring, and that would be a true prevention in people who carry Huntington's genes but don't yet have symptoms. And that, they say, is the goal currently of the research. And a lot of times this affects whole families. You have genetic disease like this, you have, other family members who have passed from this. So one of the men had in the study, His dad died from Huntington's, 2 family members died. He said it was amazing when he started participating in the trials that he never thought something would be developed in a time frame that would be useful for him. He said it feels like a huge moment that will mean so much to families who carry the Huntington's gene. So it's bringing, you can hear, optimism to the people that have this disease. There's a community of people. They're very excited about the developments. Though I love to bring good news. That's wonderful. If you think about running a race, like if you think about getting down on all fours, so you're standing on your feet, you lean down, you put your hands on the floor, and you're going to run a race like that. To me, the first thing I think of is blood rushing to my head, right? Like I wouldn't be able to think or function. My hair's so long, I'd be stepping on it. But even if I put it in a ponytail, I'm probably not getting very far. Not like this guy. This Japanese man broke a speed record for running on all fours. Wild. He he broke a Guinness World Record by running 328 feet. I couldn't even get that far. And he did it in 14.55 seconds on all fours. He's a 22-year-old guy. His name is Ryusei, and he broke the record for the fastest 100 meters running on all fours. The old record set in 2022 was 15.66 seconds, and Ryusei did it in 14.55 seconds. So he says he's been running on all fours since middle school. So this is nothing new for him. His teacher said animals on all fours can run faster, so he said it made him think, I could be the fastest human on all fours. And now he is. He said he prepared for the record by observing how four-legged animals like dogs, cats, and monkeys run. And he said it took some time to adapt his technique to running on a track because he was mostly training in the sand, and the track has more rebound, which changed his running form. He said more world records are likely in his future. He's going to train harder than ever before and do whatever he can to grow the all four sports, whatever or wherever that may be. Mad respect, because I can't even imagine. I mean, it looks like, and I'm sure it isn't, but it looks like, and I think this would happen to me, that if I tried to run on all fours, I would stumble forward and fall. I could barely get down on the floor and get back up again. This guy, look at him go. That's crazy. Speaking of world records, this guy, he goes by the nickname, the Steel Man of India. He held these 2 pillars you can see here. They're pretty big, tall, and heavy. They are 575.4 pound pillars. And he held them for 1 minute. He is a bodybuilder. His name is Vispy, and he's known as the Steel Man of India. And he's got some other world records. Now he's got this one as well, for the heaviest weight holding Hercules pillars. Again, the heaviest weight holding Hercules pillars. That's what the record is for. So each of these pillars weighs 575.4 pounds, and he held them together, one on each arm, hanging off, for a full minute. He exceeded that time by 7 seconds. It all went down in Punjab, India. The record, he said, is dedicated to the forces of India who protect us. But he sets the record. The Steel Man of India, he is on it again, boy. It's kind of another AI story for you. There is a new development in the world of tattooing. I think part of the appeal, perhaps, to people that have tattoos is the artistry involved, right? Maybe not. I don't have one, so perhaps you just want the tattoo and it's not about the art or the artist. But that's my understanding, is it's about wearable art. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And this maybe to you doesn't change the nature of art, but it might to me. There is this new development of a machine powered by AI that does tattoos and promises to make tattoos faster and less painful. So it's this AI machine then that's creating your tattoo instead of an artist sitting down to do it. This is developed by a company called Black Dot, based out of Austin. And they have developed this AI powered tattoo device that they say it is faster and it is more safe and it is less painful than a tattoo that would be made by a human artist. The automatic nature of this tattoo device, they say it's not a self-service situation and it doesn't generate the design itself. So the artist would still be designing the tattoo that you would get, like intricate tattoos or patterns or optical illusions or whatnot. And then there's an operator that would guide the client through the entire process, from consulting on the location of where you're going to put the tattoo to applying the stencil of it. And that's when the tattoo device gets to work. So there is still some human involvement, but really, the tattoo is being created by this thing. The Black Dot device performs the work of a tattooist, but not of a tattoo artist, according to the founder of Black Dot. They say Black Dot is a tool and it is not a replacement. Here's a closer up look at the machine. I mean, if it's faster and safer and less painful, I don't know. It uses a digital microscope and image processing algorithms to determine the optimal depth of needle penetration, taking into account the skin type and the location of the tattoo. The device can deposit the ink precisely at the junction between the epidermis, which is the outermost layer of our skin, and the dermis, which is the middle layer. And that means the needles avoid most of the nerve endings, so it doesn't hurt as much. Clients said the tattoos with the machine registered as 0 out of 10 to 2 out of 10 on the pain scale, compared to 5 out of 10 to 8 out of 10 if a person was doing it. The device uses thin needles called bug pin needles. They're 0.25 millimeters in diameter, the size of a human hair. And they said they tried to make sure that the dots would look great on a wide range of skin types, and that took a long time to master. 6 years of R&D and real-world testing. That skin properties differ from person to person and from one location on your body to another. So the skin on your arm might be thinner than the skin on your inner bicep or vice versa. So they had to develop methods to stabilize, analyze, and track the skin properties in real time. All part of developing this product. They even worked with PhD candidates at Johns Hopkins and PhD fellows to try to balance speed with precision, because faster motion translates into vibrations that reduce accuracy. So they've got 2 startup devices in operation right now. One is in New York City at a place called Bang Bang, which is apparently the most followed tattoo studio in the world. And another is at the company's headquarters in Austin, Texas. And so far, they've done about 400 to 500 tattoos. And they're doing a third device. They're building it right now that will be the first US location of Steel and Ink, the largest tattoo studio in Canada. They're working on a setup that would allow clients getting tattooed by a Black Dot device to share the moment with the tattoo artist, who would then join remotely via video. Oh, it's interesting. Do you think it takes the true art away if it's created by a technically The art may be created by a person, but the actual deployment of the art created by a machine. I don't know. Go into the chat. What do you think? Are you up for the machine tattoo? Blue Spark says, I got a tattoo once. It was temporary, so it didn't hurt. I don't have to worry about it sagging. Ricky Aubert says, noise is too much like the dentist drill. I don't know. Zero Sum says, whichever way the hair comes out of your skin is the way your needles go. Up, in, opposite of the hair direction. I don't know. Heather says, I found tattoos aren't as bad as you'd expect. The anticipation is actually the worst part. And once they get going, it almost kind of goes numb, like background noise. Yeah, it's like anything, right? I mean, you're plucking your eyebrows. It's that first pluck that hurts the most. And then you know what to expect, and you can kind of, you know. Heather said, I'd rather have real art, not robot art. Tattoos are primal markings. It's spiritual. Kind of does take away some of that, I don't know, human thing we do to each other. We decorate each other. There's something so, I don't know, almost primate about it, like almost like grooming, where you're picking the lint out of each other's hair or whatever. There's something, I don't know, there's some connection between people that I think is lost with when you have a machine do it. Yeah, auto pin tattoos. Apparently it's fantastic. I don't know. Yeah, Heather says, I prefer my tattoos done by a real person. It can be a fun experience. I love my artist and I enjoy sessions with him. Zero Sum says, I've been tattooing for 25 years. Yeah. Ricky says, the application of the art is part of the whole experience. Seems to me that would be the case. Mama de los Goblins says, I remember when I was young, my older brother says I wouldn't be able to handle the tattoo pain while I birthed 3 humans without pain meds. So, oh my gosh, I think the tattoo pain is the least of that. Come on. I haven't had a tattoo, but I have had a couple kids. And let me tell you, if I had the choice of which pain I was going to take, yeah. Nullifidian says, I prefer my excruciating pain delivered by real people. Sandy said, the reason I only have one small tattoo is that I hated the pain. Hated it. Never wanted another. Everyone has a different pain threshold, pain tolerance, I just, this whole AI thing, it's just everywhere you turn around, getting involved in every little thing. Just yikes. I got this next story sent by teacher Lori, talking about these tiny little crystals that could hold the secrets of Earth's journey through the Milky Way. Again, huge thank you to teacher Lori for sending in this picture, this story, which comes from Popular Mechanics. She always sends me the good stuff too. I really love it. I have a picture to show you with these cool looking green crystals. I love it. Let's see if I have green crystals. Where are they? Come on, green gemstones. Look at how cool this is. And this kind of is like almost like a Superman picture when you hear what I have to tell you. This story involves these concentrated hydrogen molecules in the galaxy's spiral arms that can apparently be locked away in zircon crystals, and they provide clues about the planetary formation of the Earth, all locked into these really cool little crystals. The Earth travels through one of the spiral arms of the Milky Way, or when it does, the increased density of matter can cause gravitational perturbations or shakeups throughout the solar system. They did a study, compared oxygen isotope variability with the history of hydrogen density, and they found pretty strong correlation. Viewed from the perspective of our limited lifespans, the Earth's 230 million year journey through the Milky Way is kind of like, okay, it happened, right? But they say if you zoom out to planetary time scales, that voyage of the Earth looks really chaotic with some pretty turbulent moments of this Earth journey that happened when the planet passed through one of our galaxy's four main galactic arms. They did a study in 2013 that estimated Earth spends upwards of 60% in its journey in one of these arms. And during these periods, these cataclysmic events are more likely to occur due to the higher density of stars, causing a shakeup in the gravitational atmosphere. The changes could potentially disrupt icy bodies in the Oort cloud and send them hurtling towards Earth. So, this new study that was done shows zircon crystals in the Earth's crust are kind of a time capsule of information when you want to look back at the journey through those arms. The data they found suggests these chaotic periods might have played a vital role in the formation of the Earth's crust. Check out the study in the journal Physical Review Research. It's pretty cool. Really pretty cool. These little time capsules right in these crystals. I love it. Thanks to Teacher Lori for the story. Really appreciate that a lot. She sent me another one and another one from Teacher Lori. And this one is about the Dead Sea and what is underneath it. And it turns out, incredible salt giants. Salt giants? What does that look like, you may ask? Well, I have an answer. Here it is. Salt giants. How cool is this? Maybe not quite as cool as the crystals, but I'll take it. Yeah. The discovery of these salt giants in the Dead Sea, formed from a perfect mixture of conditions, presents a prime opportunity to study how these formations come together. There's a new study done by researchers. They analyzed these salt giants. They compared them to similar formations in the Mediterranean, and it helps us better understand how our coastlines will react to sea level change. So these salt giants are large-scale salt deposits within the Earth. And they've been the focus of research for a long time, specifically by a professor from UC Santa Barbara. His name is Eckhart Mayberg. In 2019, Mayberg and his team discovered that a mechanism driving the underwater phenomenon known as salt snow, slowly funneling salt down to a lake bed. And then a few years later, they detailed the process of salt giants forming below the Dead Sea. And they say that this body of water may be the only place that they're able to study the formation of these particular structures. They say that these large deposits in the Earth's crust can be huge, more than a kilometer thick and many, many kilometers horizontally. How were they generated? Well, they say the Dead Sea is really the only place in the world where we can study the mechanism of these things today. So if it's a terminal lake, it means that the water only has one way of escaping the Dead Sea. That's evaporation. And that tends to leave behind lots of salt in the process. When the Jordan River was dammed, it sped up the water decline in the lake, the level, and completely mixed up its chemistry. In the 1980s, the Dead Sea was considered meromictic, that it had less dense and warmer water at the top and cooler, more saline water at the bottom. But they shook that all up with the diversion of the Jordan, and it caused salinity to rise. So now the Dead Sea is considered holomictic, meaning the lake experiences annual overturns among layers, especially in the winter months. That's an important thing to note. But the study of the salt giants, they say, provides a glimpse into our past and helps us better understand the erosions of coastlines that are arid because sea levels are continuing to rise due to climate change. So it's important to know what exactly is happening with these salt giants and what they can teach us. I just love the picture. And I love this picture too. It's cool. That's cool, Modi. All right. Shall we take a little moment, take a little breath? It's Waterfall Wednesday. And today is Waterfalls. Take us to a variety of locations. The first one, I believe, is in Montana. And I hope you find this as relaxing as do I. Here it is. These are 20 underrated waterfalls that we can enjoy together. We take our Waterfall Wednesday shot down. Oh, yeah, look at that. This is in Montana, and it is, let me get the name of it for you. The Kings Canyon Falls in Montana. It's near Helena, and it's in rugged terrain. It's hard to get to, but if you're going to trek along this trail, it's the perfect spot for solitude and a little picnic. The cascading waters plunging over rocks, surrounded by vibrant greenery in the summer. It's beautiful. The next one on the list is in Georgia, and it is called Panther Creek Falls. Look how picturesque and beautiful that is. Wow. This is in the heart of the Chattahoochee National Forest. The Panther Creek Falls flow in layers, you can see here, creating a natural staircase of water. Hike pretty moderate, but worth it because of these tranquil surroundings. A staircase of water. Oh, pretty. Our next stop on the waterfall trip takes us to Utah. Ooh, look at that one. That's interesting. I think it's the rock formations that make it even more interesting to me. This is called the Canaraval Falls. It is in Utah, and it's accessible through a slot canyon near Zion National Park. They say it feels like you're in an adventure movie scene when you're here. There are wooden ladders and cool streams guiding you to the crystal clear waters. It is an unforgettable journey. You kind of see the striations in the rock on the side. It was super pretty. Off we go to Tennessee. And you can see why this one, oops, sorry. This one is called the Grotto Falls because look at that. It's another one of these moments where you can look at a waterfall. I'll just center that picture. And through it, you can see we're looking through kind of the opening of a cave. Yeah, it's called the Grotto Falls in Tennessee. It's in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and it allows you to walk behind the misty curtain of the waterfall. The trail is moderate. It winds through lush forests with magical views along the way, and then you get to this. It's so pretty. This one is rather grand, which would surprise me that it's an underrated waterfall because holy wow. Off we go to Tennessee. Check out the Burgess Waterfall. That's so cool. This is the Burgess Falls in Tennessee. It is a series of cascades along the Falling Water River, aptly named. It's a little more secluded than other Tennessee spots, but you've got a dramatic drop of 136 feet here. And so this one really, really makes its impact with you. It's beautiful. This one looks like something from a fairy tale forest. We're headed to Michigan for the Dead River Falls. Look at that. Is that magic? I think that's magic. Marquette's Dead River Falls, called a hidden jewel on the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. You've got a short hike, but it's a rugged hike. And you get to multiple smaller waterfalls, each with its own serene beauty. That is magic. Just magic. This one, someone has taken the time to install a little sign. This one is the Rainbow Falls in Alabama. I don't even want to leave the Upper Peninsula. Look how, I mean, come on. Come on. That's perfect. Take a deep breath. Imagine yourself floating on a little inner tube right in front of that waterfall and listening to the waterfall come down, closing your eyes, feeling a slight breeze on your face and a little bit of mist. It's good stuff. This is the Rainbow Falls in Alabama. See, somebody put a little sign on the tree right in front of the waterfall. That's so nice. It's hidden in Dismal's Canyon, but the waterfall is called enchanting. It's surrounded by moss-covered rocks and lighting called ethereal. It's a secluded setting, and it makes you feel like you're stepping into a fairy tale. Color of the water, beautiful in Arizona at Fossil Creek Falls. Here we go. Would you look at that? Yeah. This is a crystal clear waters tumbling into inviting pools at Fossil Creek Falls. It's near Camp Verde. It's in a remote spot, and they say it's perfect for a refreshing swim after a hike through desert terrain. And again, it's Fossil Creek Falls in Arizona. This one has a cute name. We're going to Oregon, headed to Ponytail Falls. Look at that. Look at all the greenery. I see why it's named Ponytail Falls. That makes sense. This is within the Columbia River Gorge. Trying to get to Ponytail Falls, you got a short hike, but you've got some big rewards at the end. I have a mosquito bite on my ankle. I'm itching. You can walk behind Ponytail Falls and see the world through the shimmering veil of water. Oh, yes, please. I want that. Oh, my goodness. If this doesn't put you in the mood for fall, I don't know what will. This is called Tahquamenon Falls in Michigan. Oh, my god. Seriously. That's our world. And it's hard to believe that you could be standing in front of this and that this is real. It looks like AI. I don't know. It's not entirely off the radar, but it's not visited as often as other waterfalls, which is, to me, a travesty. This also is in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. They call it Quiet Beauty. There's golden brown water tainted by tannins that has this mesmerizing effect, especially in the fall when the colors are turning, because you've got the golden brown water and the golden leaves of all colors, gold and red and green. And I mean, just wow. That's so pretty. And again, this is called Tahquamenon Falls. It's on the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. So many beautiful waterfalls on the most underrated waterfalls list. I don't even want to leave the pictures. I'm not in love with the next one. You see why. It's called Dry Falls, and it's in Washington. They say the waterfall in the Grand Coulee area flows after heavy rains, and when it does, it's a really steep cascade, and it's a sight to behold. But the landscape here is pretty arid, so nah. This one looks pretty easy to access. Got a little walkway. It's in New Hampshire, and it's called Dixon Falls. There it is. Someone's even got a little clock on a tree there, so you know exactly what time it is. It's in the Franconia Notch State Park. There it is. Yeah. Make it bigger. It's a nice little scene. Uh, it offers a gentle cascade surrounded by wildflowers and a dense forest. It's a very peaceful hike. Feels like you're going back in time. And again, it's in Franconia Notch State Park. It's called Dixon Falls, and that is in New Hampshire. Here's a cool one. This one's in California. It's called Cat Creek Falls. Check that out. To back up. Kind of a cool shot. It is in Humboldt County, short hike away from the redwood forest. It has quiet pools and lush surroundings. It's called a serene escape. And again, the name is Cat Creek Falls. And again, that's in Humboldt County. There's a lot of different Bridal Veil Falls. This next one is the Bridal Veil located in Maine. And that's a pretty magic setting, I think. Beautiful. It's a small but picturesque waterfall in Acadia National Park. Easy to access, but tucked away in this location, so fewer crowds head here. And it's a beauty. We're going to Wyoming for the next one. This is called Medicine Bow Falls. And the rock formations are really stunning. Look at that. That's so pretty. The Medicine Bow Falls is in the heart of the Snowy Range. The waterfall cascades over granite boulders into a peaceful creek down below, and it is called a hidden treasure in a ruggedly beautiful landscape. We'll head to a snowy waterfall, a frozen one. It's called the Lost Creek Falls this one is the Honey Run Falls in Ohio. It's kind of small. Little trickle there. So we'll head over to this one. This is the Lost Creek Falls in Wisconsin. Look at that frozen waterfall. It's in the forest near Cornucopia. It's called Lost Creek Falls, and it's one of the best kept secrets in Wisconsin. You can walk behind the falls and enjoy a tranquil moment. And I love that. This looks like something out of Fantasy Island. We're in California for this one. You look at that. The plane. This is called McWay Falls. It is only accessible from a viewpoint in Big Sur. It's got a dramatic plunge into the Pacific Ocean, and it's an iconic scene. I mean, just so gorgeous. Again, it's a viewpoint in Big Sur. McWay Falls. If you're headed that way, check it out. This one, it looks like there's a lot of people here. It's in Pennsylvania. It's called the Cucumber Falls. That's kind of a cool one, too. It's in Ohiopyle State Park in Pennsylvania. And Cucumber Falls is a delicate cascade. It is surrounded by wildflowers and scenic beauty in a very accessible spot, but with a secluded vibe. So, This one makes me chilly cold just looking at it. It's Franklin Falls in Washington. And it's pretty tall, I will say. Look at that. That's beautiful. Franklin Falls in Washington is in the Cascade Mountains. You see the water tumbling over these rugged cliffs. Got a refreshing mist in the summer that could make it a perfect escape. And there you go. Did you have a favorite? I think I like McWay Falls in Big Sur. That one really stuck out to me. Go into the chat. See what you guys have to say. I hate cucumbers, but the falls is nice. Ooh, Miss Organic. Julia Pfeiffer State Park. She says there's a cool spot above that waterfall that overlooks the ocean, and I've seen some crazy stuff there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll go back to it. I think that's the one. Is that the one in Pennsylvania? Acadia Falls. There's McWay. Lost Creek. We'll scroll back through them. Oh, it's Maine. Yeah, this one. This is yours. Look at that. That's where you're from, Heather. This is the one in Maine. It's pretty beautiful too. It's really hard to pick a favorite. I'm telling you. That is so beautiful. It's called Bridal Veil Falls in Maine, and it is in Acadia National Park. So, yeah, that's really pretty. So there you go. And that, my friends, is Waterfall Wednesday. Thank you for being part of it. I hope it was a little relaxing for you. It was relaxing for me. Was it good for you? It's good for me. Yeah. Nullifidian says, I think my favorite was the orange one. That's so cool. It really, I mean, yeah, that's definitely something that I think, as I mentioned, puts you really in the mood, puts me really in the mood for fall, to just look at that picture. Let's scroll back and maybe show it to you again, because it's super pretty. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to call it Fall. It's the fall. And here's what it looks like. If you missed it the first time around, I'll show it to you again. I'm saving it in a different way. Sorry, I know. But it's worth, don't you think it's worth looking at again? I think it's worth looking at again. If I can pull this off, I might not be able to. There it is. It's pretty magical. There it is. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I get you, Nullifidian. It's this moment where you see these pictures and you're like, how is this our planet? How have we never been here? So pretty. All those colors. Yeah. Of the Acadia one, Heather says it's a gorgeous area. So many fantastic hiking trails and vistas. I can see that. I mean, super pretty. You know, it's hard to look away from that waterfall because it's just so picturesque and also impressive. There it is again. Yeah. I mean, come on. Come on. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being part of the show today. I appreciate you. And I hope you had a nice little relaxation moment with Waterfalls. I'm grateful for you being here, and to Teacher Lori for sending me the stories. Huge thank you. You don't know how much of a help that is. Sometimes it's hard to find enough to fill up a full hour, and so I really appreciate that help. It's just really lovely, and I'm thankful. For people that support the show financially, also grateful. The show struggles to go right along. Sometimes I wonder, do you want me to continue doing this? Has it run its course? Should I keep on going? Because I keep plodding through. And then you come in with support. Wes today with 5. Joyce M set up a recurring monthly payment for $10. Wes contributed a couple days ago for 5 as well. Vicky S, Alicia P with recurring PayPal payments. Thank you for helping keep this show going. So thank you so much to everyone for the stories and the support and all the lovely messages. I always appreciate you guys a lot. All right. I will see you tomorrow. I'm super excited because tomorrow on the Mark Thompson show, we welcome Sarah Kenzier to the show. Yay! Also, David Katz will be on the show. So our Thursdays are shaping up to be as good as Tuesdays with David K. Johnston. So I'm super excited. Back to back, great guest tomorrow on the Mark Thompson show. And of course, this show, Trivia Thursday. And we bring the Nikki Maduro show to you at 5 p.m. Pacific time here on YouTube. Cocktails, mocktails, and politics. And always a really fun discussion. So that is all tomorrow on YouTube. But until we meet again, make it the very best rest of your Wednesday. That's good. And I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Oh, I see what you did there. Clearly, my mouth doesn't function today. Thank you for holding me to account. Yeah, that's great. My apologies. You deserve better. My bad. I'm definitely sorry. Aw, likewise, Rev P.